Hi everyone. So this is going to be a very quick tutorial on how to do the jump cuts automatically in DaVinci Resolve. So I'm just starting to make YouTube videos, and the very first thing which I found which was very tedious and mundane was making jump cuts. Making jump cuts is a highly repetitive and a mundane task. I have to go over the entire clip, find out where I am resting, and have to cut out that parts, and that's usually for 2 or 3 seconds in an entire 15 or 20-minute video clip. So this is where I found that I can do something to automate it. Being a developer, this is something Python can easily do. And there are some time code calculations that were really confusing, but at the end it's something which can very easily be achieved with DaVinci Resolve scripting APIs, Python and FFmpeg. So let's take a look on how the code works and what it does for you. So I'm back at my computer right now, and if you see how it looks like over here, there are some things that you have to do before you kind of run the script. It's not much. You just have to create a new Resolve project, and you have to insert all your clips into the media pool over here, as you can see. And then what you have to do is copy over the scripts in GitHub to the page itself, to the folder where your clips are. For example, for me, it's here. And you see I have a jumpcut.py and I have ffmpeg utils. So these two are the only files which you require. You can do this step multiple number of times, but I just do a cmd over here. I have everything configured. I just run python jumpcut.py. I think it's better if we see this happening live. So before running the script, you see there is no timeline over here. And if I run the script right now, it will go through all the clips, identify your speech and make the jump cuts automatically. And you would see a new sample timeline over here. And if you see the waveform, it has done the jump cut almost perfectly. And you may, according to your needs, may have to change a few parameters here and there, and you have to make further edit. But I believe it's a really nice start to start editing your videos. Now let's see how the code works. And I understand it's not in a really great shape, but all in all, what I do is I use the Resolve scripting API. There are numerous tutorials which you can follow to set this API up in your own environment. But if you really want it, let me know in the comments and I can do it for you. But that's what happened here in this section. In it Resolve scripting API, basically I refer to the DLL over here. I load that DLL dynamically. And using that DVR script, I load Resolve instance. Over here, I get the current project manager and the current project, the current media pool and the root folder. And from that root folder, I get the clip list. Then I apply a filter over here. So my clips are usually .mov. You can change this to your liking. And then I do a sorting on the clip name itself, because for me, when my camera records, it's all sorted according to a name. And for most of the purposes, you will see the same structure unless and until you're doing something very complex like a multicam scenario, or you're recording from your webcam as well as your DSLR, or you have some screen recordings. This may be different. You can also do it using the modified time, the file last modified time, but for me it's like clip name. Then I set my recorder time code position. This is something very complex and I will not go into much detail, but all in all, what I do is I go through all the sorted loop clips in a loop, and I get the chunks of time where I am actually speaking and I'm not silent. There is a few parameters you can configure over here. So this is the decibel level, and this is the time for which you want to detect the silence for. So inside the hood, if you see, I'm just using FFmpeg. There's a nice feature in FFmpeg called as silence detect, and that's what it internally uses to kind of detect the silence spaces within the whole clips. Once it detects the silence clips, you can take the reverse approach and find out in the video where you are actually speaking and there is no silence. And I've all aggregated within the FFmpeg utils, so you can change these parameters as well, and you can leave it like that. Once you have got all the chunks for a particular clip, you can go over all the chunks and you can start kind of aggregating all the time codes necessary. This is also one of the consideration that you'll have to see, because I assume that the clips that you are working with has a time code burnt in. If you don't have a time code burnt in inside your video, you can burn it in yourself using FFmpeg, or there are numerous tools which can embed a time code within a video. But for my intents and purposes, all my videos have a time code burnt in. So this is how it works for me. And at the end of this, you basically create a EDL. To create a EDL, you really need 4 things. To clear it goes a lot more complex than what it already is. But in general, if you need to create a EDL, you need 4 parameters. One is your clip time code starting and your clip time code end, and when does the recorder time code start and when does the recorder time code end. I will not go into details on how the EDL works, but it's a generic pattern which a lot of editors or non-linear editors use, like Premiere uses EDL, DaVinci Resolve uses EDL. There are numerous other EDL formats as well, but the most common one is CMX 3600, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the pattern which I'm following. So once it kind of detects the cuts using FFmpeg, I convert those seconds into time code, and then I inject those time codes into an EDL file. And that EDL file is imported again to the media pool, and that's what you see over there. This was a very simple explanation of how it happens. I will check in the code into GitHub and provide you a link within the description, so make sure you can see that, and I'll be working on this code to kind of make it more approachable and easy, because a lot of editors don't know coding, and this is a really nice thing to have. And for me, my process became a way lot easier once I had this, because I usually spent around anywhere between 2 hours to 3 hours just arranging the jump cuts, and I'm not so confident over the camera, as you can see over here, and I require those jump cuts a lot. Honestly, I've seen Recut as the only best option out there if you don't want to use this, but that's paid, and I didn't want to spend my money too much into something which I don't know will work or I will use it for the long time. And this was a great approach for me, because all of these tools are open source and I had to pay nothing, essentially nothing for it. So I hope the video was useful, and please make sure to comment below if you have something which you want to suggest, or if you have a feedback, or you are not able to run it because of an issue. You can either post an issue on GitHub, or you can post it in the description below, and I'll try my best to answer that question for you. If you want me to detail out a certain aspect of the video or a certain aspect of the code, please make sure you put that up in the description as well, so I know what exactly do you want and I can make that video for you again. Thank you and have a nice day.